The Very Best of the Goons, an LP I found in the £1 box outside Amersham Music. This LP is 2 live Goon Show episodes recorded in 1957 and released on vinyl in 1974. Later generations than mine may have felt they had missed out on the Beatles, punk, grunge or even Britpop. But my generation were persuaded that we had missed out on the golden age of radio comedy, particularly the Goon Show. We were not unaware of the Goons, in fact they were everywhere. There was a TV puppet show called The Telegoons, which was voiced by the original cast, but without a live audience it did not really work. It also missed the interplay between the playful comics in and out of character and the serious BBC announcers, and also the leader of the jazz combo that provided the music and occasionally played one of the characters. We would occasionally hear clips from the original radio broadcasts, and there was a live TV reunion which had a cameo from the then Prince Charles. One Christmas my parents gave me a book of the Goon Show scripts which I read from cover to cover. It was very popular at the time, and it is one of the few books I have never thrown away or given to charity, though I do think it has been lost, probably in the black hole that is my loft. The Goons were Spike Milligan, Peter Sellers and Harry Seacombe. The scripts were written by Spike Milligan, who did several of the voices, but Peter Sellers did most of the voices and Harry Seacombe just basically played a hyper-animated version of himself. The 3 main characters, Neddy, Eccles and Bluebottle, were idiots, though Bluebottle, who had one of the best comedy voices ever, voiced by Peter Sellers, was just clever enough to point out the stupidity of the other 2. Eccles had a typically goofy voice that has often been copied. Most of the other characters were also idiots, apart from the really well-spoken ones, who were a bit evil, though also in a slightly stupid kind of way. Even the schoolboys of my generation could do impressions of Milligan's Eccles and Sellers' Bluebottle. The Goons had a single that was a hit in the 50s, and again while I was at school. It demands to be sung in a bit of a Bluebottle voice, which I seem to have lost, but it's approximately ying dong, ying dong, ying dong, ying dong, ying dong, yiddly-bo. It was called the Ying Tong song. The characters had catchphrases, and there was a character that seemed only to be there to use the catchphrase, "He's fallen in the water," which was the "suit you, sir" of its day. Each episode told a bizarre story. Often it would be about a well-known landmark such as Cleopatra's Needle disappearing, and the 3 main characters would go on a journey to try to find it, while along the way they would encounter the lesser characters like the evil Grip Pipe Thin and his henchman Moriarty. They would inevitably fail, and it would be explained that that was why the landmark that we see is actually a cardboard replica. There would be real jokes, though they were often puns. On this album I noticed one character says, "Why the long face?" and the other one says, "Heavy dentures." Harry Seacombe had an operatic singing voice. He had hit records and appeared on light entertainment shows, singing and being Welsh and extremely amiable. He also hosted songs of praise. Peter Sellers made some very well-known comedy records. Possibly the most famous sketch on one of these was Balham Gateway to the South. He also became a film star, firstly starring in Ealing comedies and then going on to Hollywood. He is most famous probably for being Inspector Clouseau. Spike Milligan often appeared on television as a comedian and a comic actor. He wrote several series of sketch shows, all called Q and then a number. They were occasionally brilliant, though often a bit hit or miss. He also wrote successful books like Adolf Hitler, My Part in His Downfall, and Puckoon, and he published books of silly drawings and jokes and poems that I would often receive as stocking filler Christmas presents. Spike Milligan is probably best remembered as the instigator of much silly, surreal, absurdist humour, inspiring the likes of Monty Python, Reeves and Mortimer, and the League of Gentlemen. The Best of the Goons, Volume 1.